night she was drinking heavily and everything, and she told me, oh, I cheated on you with a guy named Jose.
I don't know no Jose.
And she told me
the only Jose I know is Jose Cuervo.
The day Raquel Miller walked into paternity court, she carried more than a legal case. She carried the weight of a broken family, unanswered question, and the hope that one DNA test could repair what months of doubt had destroyed. Across the courtroom sat Sean Brewer, a man convinced that something about his twins did not begin. The tension was impossible to ignore. Raquel admitted that their relationship had suffered ever since the twins were born, while Sean quickly clarified that he was not questioning both children. In his mind, only Zara was the problem. He looked at Zane and saw himself. He looked at Zara and saw uncertainty. That difference shaped every interaction between them. Raquel explained that Sean's treatment of the children became so painful that she eventually moved away with them.
Twins that were...
According to her, everything changed the moment he first saw Zara. Instead of celebrating the birth of two healthy babies, the focus shifted to suspicion. Judge Lauren watched carefully as both parents defended their positions, knowing the emotional damage caused by doubt often runs deeper than anyone realizes.
Fraternal twins.
Yes.
And you say only one child is in question.
Yes.
As the hearing continued, the court explored how their relationship first began. What started as a chance meeting on a cruise eventually turned into a romance after Sean searched for Raquel online and reached out through social media. For a while, everything seemed normal. Then old arguments resurfaced, bringing trust issues into the spot. The discussion quickly became uncomfortable as both sides offered very different versions of events. The disagreement immediately intensified the atmosphere inside the court. Sean described incidents that convinced him something was being hidden from it, while Raquel maintained that his imagination had turned harmless situations into evidence of betrayal. Judge Lauren listened carefully, understanding that cases like this often involve years of hurt feeling and unresolved arguments. Still, the court needed facts, not assumptions.
Oh, well, how did you find her if you gave him the wrong number?
He stalked me and he found me.
I didn't stalk her, Your Honor.
Did she give you the wrong number, Mr. Brewer?
She did.
As more details emerged, Sean described moments that continued to fuel his doubts. He claimed there were times when Raquel disappeared for days without explanation and later returned under circumstances he found suspicious. According to him, these incidents left lasting questions in his mind. Raquel rejected those allegations and insisted that Sean was exaggerating events to justify his current belief. Judge Lauren pressed both parties for clarity, refusing to let vague accusations remain unchallenged. She wanted specific answers about timelines, relationships, and the events leading up to the pregnancy. Sean remained convinced that important information had been hidden from him. Raquel maintained that there was no secret affair and no alternate father waiting in the background.
And her leaving for 3 days at a time.
You know, her popping off the rubber and all of this stuff, and Jose and the cars.
So, Miss Miller?
The more they spoke, the more obvious it became that neither side trusted the other. Every answer seemed to generate another question. Every explanation sparked another disagreement. The courtroom felt trapped between two competing realities. Somewhere between those realities was the truth, and everyone present understood that only scientific evidence would be able to settle the matter conclusive. Eventually shifted to the pregnancy itself. Sean explained that when he first learned Raquel was expecting, he felt excited and optimistic about becoming a father. Those feelings changed over time as suspicion slowly replaced certain questions he initially ignored began to grow larger in his mind. By the time the twins were, she believed they should have been celebrating the arrival of their children rather than arguing about paternity. Instead, one of the happiest moments in their lives became the beginning of a painful The emotional contrast between expectation and reality was impossible to miss as both parents reflected on how dramatically their lives had changed.
Courtroom, nobody listens to me except Jerome.
Your Honor, he signed Zane's birth certificate but didn't sign Zara's.
The birth of the twins marked a turning point that neither parent would ever forget. Sean testified that Zara's appearance immediately caught his attention. In his view, she looked noticeably different from both him and her brother. That observation became the foundation of his doubt.
Comments.
Judge Lauren quickly reminded him that children within the same family can inherit different features and skin tones. Physical appearance alone could not determine paternity. Despite that warning, Sean admitted that his concerns only intensified after the birth. His uncertainty became so strong that he signed paperwork acknowledging one child while refusing to sign for the other. The revelation stunned many in the court because it demonstrated just how deeply his suspicions had taken hold.
My crusty foot.
Yeah.
While highlighting differences he observed in Zara, the argument reached an unexpected level when attention turned to something as ordinary as feet. Sean believed the shape of a toe supported his theory. The courtroom briefly shifted from tension to disbelief as everyone considered the unusual evidence. Yet behind the strange argument remained a serious issue affecting an entirely challenged the toe comparison and dismissed it as meaning. She argued that Zara shared physical characteristics with her side of the family and that genetics could not be reduced to a single body feature. While some people in the courtroom struggled not to laugh, the emotional stakes remained painfully real. For Raquel, every unusual argument felt like another attack on her integrity and another reminder that her daughter was being treated differently.
And this has upset you so much that you just decided to pack up and leave. You're a new mother.
Or what if she leaving because it's the truth?
The most heartbreaking testimony arrived when the conversation shifted away from theories and focused on the twins themselves. Raquel explained that Sean's doubts influenced how he interacted with the children. According to her, he spent more time holding, photographing, and bonding with Zane while remaining distant from Zara. The emotional impact of those choices became impossible to ignore.
Her look like her when she been drinking quirk.
Who was right? The relationship had reached a critical moment. The DNA results represented more than scientific evidence. They represented closure. The atmosphere inside the courtroom changed as the envelope containing the results was prepared. Nervous expressions appeared across the room. Both parents knew their lives were about to change. The only question remaining was whether that change would bring relief or even more heart.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Brewer, you are the father.
Finally, the moment everyone had been waiting for arrived. Judge Lauren began by revealing the results concerning Zane. The answer confirmed what Sean had always believed. He was the father. Relief spread through the court, but another result still remained. Then came the answer regarding Zara. Once again, the DNA evidence confirmed that Sean was the biological father. The reaction was immediate and emotional. Months of suspicion collapsed in an instant. Raquel was finally proven right. Sean appeared overwhelmed by the realization. The moment Kimberly and William Hammond entered the courtroom, you could feel years of frustration following them through the doors. Imagine being married for a decade, spending nearly every year praying for a child, enduring disappointment after disappointment, and then finally welcoming the baby you always dreamed of.
Hammond, you claim that after 10 years of marriage and repeated attempts to get pregnant, a month ago you finally gave birth to your miracle baby, Isaac.
The miracle they had spent years hoping for. William, however, believed there was a chance another man could be the child's father. The accusation cut deep because it threatened not only their marriage, but also the meaning of everything they had fought so hard to achieve together over the years.
You need today's results prove to the defendant, your husband, that this is his baby. Is this correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge Lake had barely introduced the case before the accusations started flying. William wasted no time explaining why he doubted Isaac's paternity. According to him, multiple men had approached him claiming they had been involved with Kimberly during their marriage. Those claims had been echoing in his mind months. He insisted he had heard too many stories to ignore.
All we wanted was to have a baby, and we finally got that, and it's sadly brought us further apart than bring us together.
All because of paternity doubt?
The tension in the courtroom instantly became impossible to miss. Kimberly looked frustrated and exhausted, as though she had spent countless hours. Then came the first major shock of the hearing. Kimberly openly admitted that cheating had occurred within the marriage. What made the confession even more startling was how calmly she delivered it. She explained that the problems did not begin. According to Kimberly, William had been unfaithful first, hurt and angry. She eventually responded in kind. Suddenly, the courtroom was no longer dealing with a simple question of the hearing took another dramatic turn when William presented text messages as evidence. He believed the messages proved that Kimberly had maintained an inappropriate relationship with another man. The texts were read aloud in court, and the tone immediately raised eyebrows. Affectionate language and romantic undertones filled the conversation. Kimberly attempted to explain the messages, insisting that they did not mean what William believed they meant.
Give me that evidence. Thank you. This evidence.
She's in the same place as this man is.
And Judge Lake, however, appeared skeptical. The messages certainly did not sound professional or innocent. Each sentence seemed to create more questions than answers. For William, the texts represented confirmation of fears he had carried for a long time. For Kimberly, they were being interpreted in the worst possible way. Either way, the messages became another major obstacle standing between them and the truth.
You know what I mean?
truth. Kimberly continued defending herself by arguing that the relationship referenced in the messages was not what William imagined. She insisted that people often jump to conclusions when reading conversations without context, yet the courtroom remained unconvinced. The affectionate wording made it difficult to dismiss the concerns entirely. Judge Lake challenged several explanations and pushed for clarity.
And I miss you already too. And then the other man says, thank you for texting me. Can't wait to see you again.
The exchange became one of the most uncomfortable moments of the case because neither side appeared willing to compromise.
Kiss, heart, kiss.
Right.
This doesn't sound too good, Miss Hammond.
I'm sure it doesn't. I mean, I know what I have and what I haven't done.
But eventually, the focus shifted away from accusations and toward the child at the center of the case. William admitted that he had been present for Isaac's birth. Despite his doubts, he signed the birth certificate and accepted the responsibility of being listed as the child's father. His explanation revealed how deeply emotional the situation was. After waiting so many years for a child, he desperately wanted Isaac to belong to him. Part of him feared being hurt by the truth, while another part desperately hoped the child was his biological son. The conflict was visible in every word he spoke. This was not a man who wanted to reject a child. It was a man terrified of loving a child completely and later discovering that his faith had been misplaced.
My family's name is Dunn, so maybe I rushed to want to be the father. You know what I mean?
I had let him know my water broke.
Just when it seemed the case could not become more dramatic, Kimberly revealed a detail that stunned the courtroom. She claimed that when she went into labor, William initially arrived but later left to visit a casino. The revelation triggered immediate reactions throughout the room. For many people listening, the idea of leaving during such an important moment felt unbelievable. Judge Lake appeared shocked by the story.
You know, might have made myself happier, and I don't know what it did for him, but it definitely tore us apart even more.
Of disappointment, Judge Lake listened as both spouses detailed incidents that had steadily eroded trust between. By this point, nobody doubted that serious damage had been done. The question was whether that damage could ever be repaired. Even more importantly, could the truth about Isaac provide healing, or would it become the final blow that pushed the marriage beyond recovery?
You know,
This is sad.
Calm. He explained that he had spent time with baby Isaac and believed the child strongly resembled Willie. To support his opinion, he brought photographs for comparison.
Why are you saying these numbers?
Because she would tell me anything. I mean, I've been the brunt of the joke many times, you know what I mean? So it's hard for her to say.
His testimony provided a rare moment of hope during an otherwise tense hearing. For the first time, the conversation focused on possibility rather than accusation. Both Kimberly and William appeared affected by his word. While photographs could never replace DNA evidence, Jonathan's confidence suggested that perhaps the answer everyone feared might not be as devastating as expected. The emotional atmosphere changed dramatically as Kimberly spoke about her family. Her voice trembled as she explained how exhausted she was from constant fighting and suspicion. More than anything, she wanted peace. She wanted her husband, her child, and the family they had spent years trying to create. Her testimony was difficult to ignore. Behind every argument and accusation stood a woman who believed she was finally holding the child she had dreamed about for years. Judge Lake appeared moved by the sincerity of her words. For a brief moment, the hostility faded and something more vulnerable emerged. The audience could see that beneath the anger and distrust, there was still love. The question was whether that love could survive everything that had happened. DNA results had answered the question of paternity, but they could not automatically repair a damaged marriage. That responsibility belonged to Kimberly and Willie. As they sat together, holding hands through tears, there was a sense that they finally understood what was at stake. Baby Isaac had given them something precious. Whether they protected it or destroyed it would depend entirely on the choices they made from that day forward.
Mr. Hammond, you are the father.
Imagine rebuilding your life with someone while questions from the past refuse to stay buried. That is exactly where Miss Polson and Mr. Callender found themselves when they entered paternity court. At the center of their conflict stood little Zoe, a child whose future depended on one answer. Miss Polson was completely certain that Mr. Callender was Zoe's father. He wanted to believe it too, but years of doubt continued to haunt him. The uncertainty had become a constant presence in their relationship, following them through ordinary days, family gatherings, and private conversations. By the time they reached the court, the issue had grown far beyond a simple question of biology. Their relationship was hanging in the balance, and everyone knew the DNA results would change everything. From the beginning, Mr. Callender admitted he had been struggling with uncertainty for a long time. He described the doubt as something that never truly left his mind, no matter how much he wanted. Miss Polson appeared exhausted by the repeated questions and accusations. She had spent years insisting that Zoe belonged to him, yet the same conversation kept returning.
I think it's preventing us from moving forward. Just the uncertainty, not knowing 100% that I'm her father.
End the cycle that had been draining their while one chapter of her life was still closing and another was already beginning. Looking back, those circumstances created the concerns did not stop there. Mr. Calendarer also discovered lengthy phone conversations between Miss Polson and her former partner. According to the records discussed in court, some calls lasted far longer than he believed casual conversations should. The duration of those calls became another source of frustration and suspicion. He struggled to understand. The issue resurfaced again during an argument years later, when the topic of the soup and teddy bear unexpectedly returned. According to testimony, the gesture was mentioned during a heated exchange, reopening emotions that had never completely healed. What might have seemed insignificant to one person carried tremendous symbolic weight for the other. That moment highlighted a recurring pattern throughout the relationship. Small incidents rarely stayed small. Instead, they accumulated over time and became part of a larger narrative of doubt and mistrust. By the time the case reached court, neither side was arguing only about one event. They were arguing about years of unresolved feeling, unanswered questions, and memories that became visible. It was clear that she loved Zoe deep and feared the damage that uncertainty could cause within the family. Her testimony reminded everyone in the courtroom that paternity cases are never only about adults. Children often carry the consequences of conflicts they never created. The emotional weight of her words brought a different kind of seriousness to the proceeding. Allen admitted that if the DNA results proved Mr. Calendarer was not Zoe's father, the relationship might not survive. That possibility hung heavily over the court. Years of arguments, suspicion, and emotional exhaustion had already weakened the bond between the couple. Like and subscribe for more courtroom stories. The family desperately wanted peace. To defend herself, Miss Polson presented her own evidence. She pointed to similarities between Zoe and Mr. Calendarer, highlighting physical characteristics and personality traits she believed connected them. In her mind, the resemblance was obvious. She described shared features, similar behavior patterns, and characteristics she felt could not be ignored. Throughout her presentation, she appeared confident and unwavering.
It's identical.
Already visible to anyone willing to look. Yet even as she made her case, it became clear that personal observations alone would never be enough. In a courtroom, certainty requires more than belief. It requires proof.
It's identical. You cannot deny her.
Despite all the evidence presented throughout the hearing, everyone knew that only one thing could finally provide certainty. The courtroom was rapidly as the hearing neared its conclusion. Mr. Calendarer summarized the reasons for his doubt. He argued that personality traits can be influenced by environment and that physical features alone cannot determine paternity. More importantly, he could not forget the complicated circumstances surrounding the beginning of their relationship.
When it comes to Zoe Calendar, it has been determined by this court.
The silence became almost overwhelming when the results were finally brought into the courtroom. Everyone seemed aware that years of uncertainty were about to end. Hands tight, faces grew tense. Eyes remained fixed on Judge Lake. For Miss Polson, this moment represented validation after years of defending the truth. For Mr. Calendarer, it represented either relief or heartbreak. Nobody spoke as the results were prepared. The anticipation was impossible to ignore because so much depended on what came next. A relationship, a family, and a little girl's future all appeared connected to the words that Judge Lake was about to read aloud.
Mr. Calendar, you are the father. You are the father. And I'm so happy I could give you the result all of you so desperately wanted. And now we can figure out where to go from here.